Yeah, closing in on the end of the first hour on the SportsMax Zone for this Thursday. We are back, and as the opening ceremony for the Tokyo Games nears, we highlight today a special group of outstanding athletes from the Bahamas. Sevetheda Fines-Koch, Chandra Stirrup, Pauline Davis-Thompson, Debbie Ferguson-Mckenzie, and Eldise Clark. As a team, they climaxed a wonderful journey when they were crowned women's sprint relay champions at the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia. Now, together, they began the quest by winning silver at the 1996 Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia, followed by another silver at the Goodwill Games in 1998, and then the first gold at the IAAF World Championship in Spain in 1999. That historic 4x100-meter relay performance dubbed them the Golden Girls.
At the Sydney Olympics in 2000, the Bahamas secured their first ever gold medal in athletics. Their women's sprint relay team of Sevetheda Fines, Chandra Stirrup, Pauline Davis and Debbie Ferguson spent 41.95 seconds to be crowned the Golden Girls. Davis, who had days earlier crossed the line second in the 200 meters, which was many years later upgraded to first, ran the third leg on their victorious relay team.
Mancine Perry takes the baton, but she is behind Pauline Davis-Thompson of the Bahamas. Anchor leg, it'll be Marion Jones against Debbie Ferguson. It's the U.S. against the Bahamas. Here they come into the stretch run, and an exchange to Marion Jones. She took the baton and now has to try to catch her, but it won't happen. It's going to be the Bahamas with Debbie Ferguson to the line to win. The U.S. behind Moline Ani of Jamaica in second. Looks like the U.S. was third.
First of all, it was a very exciting moment for us because, you know, the year before we won the World Championship. And in particular, the American was saying that it was a fluke, that we won't be able to repeat that at the Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia. And you know, the American often refer to the Bahamas as the pimple on the butt. And so my Golden Girl sisters and I, we worked so hard to be able to achieve that gold medal on behalf of our country. And then, of course, we had somewhat 300,000+ Bahamians watching. We knew they were going to be watching, and we knew that we needed to deliver this medal on behalf of them. And so as I was approaching Debbie, I was talking to Debbie the whole entire time. I wanted to make sure she didn't run too fast, get out of the zone, anything like that. So I basically said to Debbie, before the race, I said, listen, I'm going to give you all the commands. Just listen to my voice. Because I really need for Debbie just to focus on just me and not worry about who was around her. So when you see me coming into her, you see me constantly talking to her. I was giving her all the commands. I would tell her, okay, move now, do this, do that, do the next thing, because I just wanted to keep her comfortable where she wouldn't have to worry about the Marion Jones or any of the other athletes in the race around her, just focus on just me. And so when I was able to pass that baton off to Debbie, and when I saw Debbie cross that finish line, it was pure joy. We had worked so hard for so long to deliver that medal for our country. And to finally be able to do that in Australia down under, in front of so many people around the world, it was so amazing. And to finally be able to do something like that and to upset the Americans, of course, you know, we beat our sister nation, Jamaica, but that was exciting too.
Pauline Davis-Thompson, very, very special. Now joining us to relive her special Olympic moment for the Bahamas, 5-time Olympic sprinter Debbie Ferguson-Mckenzie. Debbie, we just watched this wonderful recap of what happened in Sydney. I saw video when I was there as well, and I remember Pauline Davis-Thompson showering you with kisses on your cheek at the finishing line. You were just 24 years old at the time, and she was a senior in the group, 10 years older, I think. What is your recollection now looking back at those moments?
Oh, hi. Well, thank you for having me. It's just been phenomenal when you look back and you realize the accomplishment, you know, that we have accomplished as a team. Like you said, started out in 96, as far as the Olympics with the silver medal, and then on to Sydney where we actually won the gold. I think for me, it just reminded me about life, and that life is full of trials and tribulations and challenges, because I think a lot of people were able to celebrate with us at that point where they saw us won the gold. We crossed the finish line first, but just to remind those, you know, like, what about the stuff behind the scenes that nobody sees, and the tears and the moments that, you know, we struggled, and It's just been amazing. Like anything in life that you want, you just gotta not give up. You just gotta keep fighting, keep working hard, and just never quitting and just giving your best. And then one day, long enough, you stick with it, that dream will come true.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know, I remember 1995, Debbie, the Carifta Games in the Cayman Islands. You were Austin Seeley Award winner as a teenager. The 100, the 200, the 4x100 gold medals. I think you were also a part of the 4x4 team that won a silver. And to see you transition into a world star, very, very heartwarming for us as Caribbean people. But can you take us through, because Pauline Davis tried to explain in the video that we just presented, you were down the home stretch. Merlene Ottey, the experienced Jamaican former world champion, was on your left, chasing you. Marion was some distance away, but she was closing. Did you feel their presence? What was going through your mind as you ran towards the tape?
I think if you ask everybody their own particular story, and it is going to be different. I can remember my story being, you know, I remember watching Savithita Fines, and then she got it to Chandra. And then by then, I know it happened so quickly. You cannot be distracted. So I said I had to focus now in my stance and my position. So when Pauline comes around, and the weirdest thing happened, you know, I remember, I think for me personally, my experience from 96 Olympics wasn't a good one. I remember seeing pictures of me outside the stadium crying, where, you know, before I was supposed to be on the relay team, wasn't able to make it. And I remember promising myself it will never happen again. And I think I just had a quick flashback as far as that was concerned, and just said, okay, Debbie, it's time to focus. You know, if you guys don't do the best you can, literally, I remember thinking this, you cannot go home. Like, I know how our Bahamian people are, like, and it was good pressure on my shoulder. But I just remember thinking that, and I just remember just getting into the zone. And honestly, there was 110,000 people in the stadium, but I remember nothing. I heard nothing. And I remember just focusing on the lane and focusing on Pauline hitting that mark. And once she hit that mark, I remember just getting the stick. I heard nothing else. Everything was so quiet. It was almost like an out-of-body experience where I was standing outside my body and watching myself run, but it was in slow motion. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's difficult to explain, but I think what most athletes actually compare it to is just being in the zone. And I heard nothing. I heard no one. And I just remember running to the finish line. And I realized, okay, of all the greats, Merlene is also one of my idol. I knew Marion Jones was coming. She won the 100 meter by 20 meters plus, maybe. And I got 8th place in the 100 meters. So I knew she was coming. But by the time I got to the line, I realized, oh, we crossed the line first. I was like, yes, like, this is what we've been dreaming of. This is what we've been working for. And so it's hard to explain that feeling of winning that gold medal in that relay.
Debbie, you're now a coach. The Bahamians are there in Tokyo now, are getting ready to compete in Tokyo with some solid hopes of gold medal success. What would your message be to your Bahamian athletes in Tokyo now about how they must approach the execution of their performances?
You know, basically, whatever they have put in up to this point, that's what's going to matter. That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that counts. At this point, you can't focus on somebody else and what they're doing, or focus on somebody else's race. And so you got to focus on your race internally, what you bring to the table. What are you ready to do? You know, as far as performance, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever the case is, just focus on what you have to do. Because I remember, like I said, there are people they play a psychological game where you could literally be in your race and they say something and they take you out of your zone. So it's all about what you've prepared thus far, and, you know, coming ready and knowing nobody's going to give you anything. You got to go and take it. So just focus on you, your lane, your space, and your competition, and, you know, try to execute the best you can. once you execute, that's what it's about. You're giving your best, and that's what it's about.
Debbie Ferguson-Mckenzie, thanks for talking to us here on the SportsMax Zone. All the best to you, and all the best to the Bahamas team and all the Caribbean athletes that are heading for Tokyo and the ones that are already there. Thanks for joining us.
All the best to all the athletes competing in Tokyo.
Yeah, Debbie Ferguson-Mckenzie there, tremendous athlete. We go to break. When we come back, the second zone updates will be up with Mariah.